So in the last lesson, we got to this stage where we had our form data entries and we had a look at them in the console. So at this point, we want to now pass them off using a fetch request to a particular server. Now, I have already created a server with Node.js to allow us to then post these images off. It's then going to temporarily save them and then pass us back the image path of where it's located on the server, which essentially gives us a nice end-to-end, fully complete drag and drop file uploader. And I'm sure you can dive through the code which I've written on the Node.js side and learn a few things as well. Now, most APIs, we don't really need to know what happens behind the scenes. We simply just pass off data in JavaScript and kind of let the magic happen behind the scenes. We're going to do that, of course, but we're also going to have a look at the Node.js server. Now, because we're going to be using fetch, I want to convert this arrow function of upload files across to an async function. So this is going to allow us to await a fetch request. So instead of console login our form entries, we're then going to say const request equals, and we're going to await a fetch call. Now I have already prepared the domain for this, and I'm using some software called Glitch. You can also use the exact same domain. So if you want to enter // we can do drag drop files .glitch.me. Glitch is a nice website, glitch.com, which gives us glitch.me as the project name. It's a really, really nice project, and it allows us to essentially create server-side applications and also client-side applications in the browser, which is really nice because I can then write JavaScript code for the server and run it in the browser. Now we'll have a look at this at the moment. I've also set up an endpoint called upload, which is typical for some kind of API which we might be using. Now, because we are making a post request, we want to specify the method of post, and we also want to pass the body along with our request. We don't need to unravel our form data entries. We can just simply pass the form off on its own. Now, after the request has come back, we simply want to unravel it because what I'm going to do is send back some JSON. So we're going to return await request.json. So that's pretty much it for our file. Now, what I'm going to do is open up Glitch in a new tab and talk you through the project. Now, if you take the URL directly and actually go to it in the browser, you're going to see this cannot get, and that's because I've not provided any front-end capabilities to this small application. However, if I go onto glitch.com and start editing this project, and this is glitch.com/edit and then /drag and drop files. Now, what I'll do here is just add a comment which gives you the domain for my particular project so you can walk through the code yourself. So inside of the project, this is what I've got. This is what I've put together. What this is essentially going to do is boot up an Express app, and I've included some cross-origin capabilities. I'm using this package called Formidable, which is going to allow us to pass the form data object and then handle it on the server. Mostly when I make a post request to this /upload, I'm going to grab the files, and then what I'm essentially doing on the server is iterating over each key, which will be the file name. So I get the file name, and then I'm writing that particular file into this directory, and it also gives me things like the path. So this is being handled under the hood by this Formidable module which I've included in my project, which essentially is going to take the image and save it to this particular project so we can access it. So after this has actually been written to the server itself, what I then do is map over the images, and then I've uploaded it to this uploads file. Don't confuse it with this /upload. This is a folder called uploads, and then I've appended the file name. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm returning a JSON response. Don't forget we are unraveling and awaiting our request.json. So what we're going to do is actually get back the full path of where we have uploaded the image on our Node.js server. Now, there's also some other stuff. There's the app listening just to boot up our actual application. And what I've done is set up something called a cron job. So this is going to schedule every 15 minutes. I'm just going to completely delete this public directory of our upload. So any images that you do upload here, they're going to be destroyed after 15 minutes. And this is just to keep the project nice and clean, so I don't have to worry about upload limits for this project. So it will stay essentially alive forever. So with that in mind, let's finish things off and complete the circle where we're going to pass off our form, await that JSON, and then as I've explained, it's going to send us the URL back for the image of where it's actually been saved on our Node server. So now we've added our upload files function with a fetch request inside. We need to now go into our handle file upload. Now this is going to be converted over to an async function. We can then say const uploaded equals await the upload files because we are returning that JSON response. And we can say if uploaded, so we then get the data back. We can console.log uploaded. So let's save this out and see what happens. So let's take 2 of our images and drag them in. We then see the image thumbnails. Now behind the scenes, and you can see that that took a moment, that's gone off to our Node.js server and returned us a JSON response with these images inside. So if I take this value of number 1, paste it into the browser, but you can see that we now have on my drag drop files.glitch in the uploads folder, we have this image here. We can also go back and access the other image, paste it into a new tab, and you can see that this is now available to us. So there's one more thing that I'm going to do, and that is just simply iterate over this. So we can say for const image of uploaded.images. So we're just going to quickly iterate over these, and we can say console.log and image. Now this is nice because what we can do is drag some new images in, and this is then going to just give us the hyperlinks in the console so we can click them straight away and it's going to open those images up for us. So I hope you like this, and it's quite a nice complete feature set where we're handling the file upload. We've learned quite a lot in this. We've learned how to detect file types, show file previews using the file reader. We then created an asynchronous function with our upload files. We've then talked to our form data. We've then iterated over each file, bound it to the form data, and then passed it off to our Node.js server. I'd encourage you to have a look through the actual project. You can fork this project, edit it to your heart's content, and learn a bit more about what's happening behind the scenes. And I hope that this gives you something nice to go and learn from as well in Node.js space. So that's it for this video. We are almost complete with not only the drag and drop, but the file APIs. What I want to do is tie in one more thing for this chapter, and then we're going to close it off.